You can follow the Ravens all season long with Joe Platania's Ravens Report in the monthly print edition of PressBox and every day at PressBoxOnline.com. Welcome back to Inside PressBox. You know, every week we watch Warriors on the gridiron making bone-crushing hits and tackles, but what you see on the field is not the only part of being on a football team, at least not for Coach Randy Edsall's players at the University of Maryland. Imagine being sick and in the hospital. You're looking out of your bedroom window and seeing this, the Maryland Terrapins football team getting off the bus and coming in to visit you. That's exactly what some of the kids at the Herman and Walter Samuelson's Children's Hospital at Sinai saw recently, thanks to head coach Randy Edsall and the Casey Cares Foundation. Coach Edsall has been looking for ways to have his team gain a more rewarding college experience. Rewarding not just for the players, but for even their smallest and most vulnerable fans.
Just, be friendly with them. They're just kids, and they just are really excited to see you. They'll probably want to take some pictures.
That's Casey Baines, founder and executive director of the Casey Cares Foundation. Through the foundation, Casey provides ongoing and uplifting programs for critically ill children and their families. This Terps visit was something she knew would truly be special.
Anytime that we get to be able to bring the players into the hospital like we are today, and for them to share with the kids that how important it is to be strong because these kids are fighting for their lives.
The Casey Cares Foundation was the team's perfect match, and visiting the kids at Sinai is exactly what the coach had in mind.
For our players to come here and to spend time with the patients, they can see that there's a lot of other people who are going through some tough times, and that they need to be thankful each and every day for what they have, but then also because of their status as being a University of Maryland football student athlete, they can bring some joy and happiness to a young person's life just spending 5 to 10 minutes with them.
Who gets more out of this exchange, the person giving the visit or the person getting the visit?
You know what? After 12 years, I still can't determine who gets more out of these visits, whether it's the players or the patients and their families that are here.
It's all yours, man.
I'll remember them just coming all in and just looking at Jordan, making Jordan feel like he's number one, like there's no other kid here but him. He's going to church, and I know I will,
What do you think the effect it has on a little kid like that over there?
Oh, man, it makes them stronger. They say these big football players, and they like, man, one day I can try to do that. Or if it's a little girl, like, man, these guys are big, and I think it does great wonders for them, and I'm happy that it does that.
Jordan, what'd you think of those big football players coming into your room to visit you?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you like to be one of them when you grow up?
Yes.
Are you a big football fan?
Yes.
Big baseball fan?
Yes.
Do you ever say no?
No.
This day will definitely be one to remember. But for another boy named Jordan, it may have meant more than just a simple visit.
They're not all coming in, but I got a bunch, okay? So I got to get them dressed.
Jordan is from the D.C. area, but he's always been a huge Terps fan.
Let all of them come in?
Everybody.
All right, I got to get everybody in their gowns.
Jordan
okay?
has been at Sinai multiple times over the last year, overcoming complications related to a serious bone marrow transplant.
We got Coach Randy Edsall here. Shake the man's hand. Glad to have him here. We have cameramen from everywhere, including the majority of the University of Maryland football team, of which Jordan wants to be a part one day. Oh, yeah. Right.
Being from D.C., it's hard for his friends to travel regularly to Baltimore for visits, so having the Terps show up and hang out for a while was definitely a real treat.
Just because he's in the hospital, he's depressed, a lot of friends don't come by, and they would like to come by, but they can't come by. We were in Washington, D.C. We're standing in Baltimore, and it's a long way for a child to have to come.
What does a visit like this from some of the Terrapins mean to him? And I don't mean in a corny, cliched way.
It means the world to this little boy. It means the world to this little boy. I can't tell you how many times he said, well, you know, I want to go to the University of Maryland when I go to school because that's his team. He knows every player, every game that the University of Maryland plays. He's on top of it. And frankly speaking, I hate to say it, but I'm not a sports enthusiast.
It's hard to tell who gets more out of a visit like this, but one thing's for sure. This won't be the last time the players and kids see each other. This is an element of the game that Coach wants to instill in his players.
We always think right away this is great for the patients, and it is. You hope it brings a smile. You hope it gives them a little bit of a distraction from what they have to deal with day to day. But it makes a great impact on the students, at Maryland, and enhances their college experience because they're used to going to school, they're used to working out and being at practice and playing in games, and there's a whole nother world out there, and there's a million ways that we can experience it, and this is one of them.
There's no question. And I think things like this bring your team closer together. And I think it makes them appreciate, you know, all the things that are happening. But like I said, I think this is part of a team bonding, experience. And, this is something that, we're going to continue to do with our program because it's the right thing. And, when you go into that room there and talk to Jordan, our guys aren't the heroes. He's the hero. He's the one who's out there battling a lot tougher than what our guys are.
We thank you for coming down to Baltimore, and I know you want to get into some other rooms and visit some other kids.
Thanks, Stan. Really appreciate it.
It's Randy Edsall, coach at the University of Maryland, and you can see moved by this experience and planning to do some more things like this. And that really is pretty special, Coach Edsall and the kids and the university to have that kind of view, world view where they'd come down to visit that. So we thank Randy Edsall for inviting us to be a part of that. Don't go away. We've still got a lot more inside PressBox to come right after these messages. We'll be right back. Inside PressBox is presented by Freedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Freedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs.